If Caitlyn Clark is the quote-unquote savior, if she's the golden girl, milk it.
Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light that is going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlyn Clark is eliminated from the playoffs. I know the mainstream media wants us to believe that
Did you catch the WNBA playoffs? Probably not, especially without Caitlyn Clark. The viewership numbers show it. A big drop from 1.8 million viewers down to just 161,000.
Ratings for Game 1 have got to be disappointing for Kat Engelbert and the WNBA front office. There were regular season games this season where Caitlyn Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers. However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on the way. There were 3 other games in the WNBA on Sunday night.
That's more than just a dip. It's a nosedive. Now, people are starting to ask, is the WNBA in real trouble without its rising superstar?
Caitlyn Clark is clearly a catalyst for a business that was, and let's be honest, Caitlyn to some degree financially saved the WNBA. It was hemorrhaging money for years. Some people get famous on art.
Let's take a moment to talk about Clark. She didn't just make an appearance. She completely changed the game.
From merchandising sales to new sponsorships to television ratings absolutely going through the roof to attendance to sellouts at basketball games to all-star games with record attendance both in person and on television. It is safe to say, North America, that the Caitlyn Clark effect has taken over the WNBA at this point.
The Indiana Fever went from being the forgotten team to playoff contenders, all thanks to her. Imagine going from being a nobody to a star that quickly. But here's the scary part. Without Clark, the WNBA is facing empty arenas and TV ratings that are hard to look at.
WNBA ratings are embarrassing without Caitlyn Clark. 0 games have sold out in the playoffs. Outside of Caitlyn Clark, there was not a single game that eclipsed 500,000 viewers. Hell, they weren't even close to doing that. Once she is eliminated,
it's like the party's over and everyone's gone home. So now we have to ask, is the WNBA putting all its eggs in one basket? And what happens if that basket breaks? Stick around, because we're about to explore why this is such a big deal for women's basketball. Remember when the Indiana Fever was just another team? Now they're playoff contenders, all because of one player.
This woman is box office, plus she can play. And the combination of the two would ultimately give.
Here's the kicker. Caitlyn Clark isn't just transforming her team, she's rewriting the entire WNBA playbook.
Let's put this in its proper perspective. When I think about Caitlyn Clark, the operative word that comes to my mind is gratitude.
How? The numbers tell a story you won't see coming.
Well, I'm just looking at some of the numbers here. When we talk about league attendance, the Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlyn Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
The numbers tell a story you won't expect.
See that. We see the capability on the basketball court. She can shoot, she can handle, she certainly can pass, okay? I look at it from that standpoint and I say mad respect. Are there other players in the WNBA that...
Let's dive into Clark's rookie season. We're not just talking about good stats. We're talking about numbers that make basketball historians sit up and pay attention.
Because at the end of the day, with her WNBA rookie season complete, let's see it. Most points by a point guard in a season in WNBA history. Most double-doubles by a rookie guard in WNBA history. Most points by a rookie in WNBA history. Most assists by a rookie in the history of the WNBA. First WNBA rookie to record 2 triple-doubles. First triple-double by a rookie in WNBA history.
But wait, it gets even crazier.
Career 10 or more assists in a game. How about that franchise record for most career 10 or more assists in a game? Fastest WNBA player to reach 100 three-pointers. She did it in 34 games. Most assists by a rookie in a WNBA All-Star game, for which she received the most fan votes ever. 700,000 of those. Fastest player to reach 350 points and 150 assists to start a season, regardless of years in the league. Wow. That's not a rookie record. That's just a record for anybody.
And her playoff debut. Clark became the first rookie in WNBA history to score at least 25 points, grab 5 rebounds, and dish out 5 assists. That's not just breaking records, it's setting new standards of greatness.
And the attention that she brought to a women's league and a women's side, if you will, of the sport is just, I think, hopefully going to have a residual effect for years to come.
Yeah, I think it can't be overstated enough, like what she did to bring eyes to that sport. Whether people want to admit it or not, it's just a fact.
Throughout the entire playoff series, Clark averaged 18 points, 5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block per game. You know who else has put up numbers like that in the playoffs? Nobody. Not a single player in WNBA history has matched this stat line. We're talking about Michael Jordan territory here. Now, you might be wondering, okay, great stats, but what does this mean for the league? Let me give you a clearer picture.
I'm just looking at some of the numbers here. When we talk about league attendance, the Indiana Fever, all right, with Caitlyn Clark, led the league in attendance both home and on the road. Fever averaged 17,000.
Before Clark, the Indiana Fever was the kind of team you'd forget was even in the league. Now, they're a team everyone has to pay attention to.
Has trickled up to the WNBA this season as the league has seen unprecedented growth thanks to the emergence of a strong rookie class headlined by #1 overall pick Caitlyn Clark. So WNBA released a report recently. Numbers are beyond impressive. Attendance is up 156% from last year, and more than half of all WNBA games this year have been sellouts. This year's televised games are averaging 1.32 million viewers, nearly triple last season's average of 462,000. Continuing, the WNBA's online merchandise store has already set a single-season sales record with more than 4 months left in the season, and sales are up 756%.
WNBA has seen record-breaking numbers this season in viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, and just overall growth of the league.
Clark didn't just enhance the team, she turned them into contenders overnight.
So if we look at this chart for the 2024 season, the Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team. They are averaging almost 16,000 per 39 games. So this is taking into consideration not only the Indiana Fever home games, but also when they are on the road.
But it's not just about what happens on the court. Clark's influence extends far beyond the hardwood.
It's Caitlyn Clark. We all know that. They are now seeing that the Clark effect is living up to the hype.
From a draft party where nearly 6,000 people attended.
Look at the crowd here. You can see where she ranks on anticipation. This is amazing to have. I was here for the draft party a few years ago, and it was nothing compared to what it is now. This is amazing.
To the team store, where gear is flying off the shelves.
We're seeing record numbers of viewers tuning in to watch WNBA games. And who are they coming to see? You guessed it, Caitlyn Clark.
Is going to get a rude awakening because 2 million, that click, 2 million of their fans just turned the TV back to the NFL.
She's not just a player anymore. She's become the face of women's basketball. Think about it. When was the last time you saw this much buzz around a WNBA player? Clark isn't just attracting basketball fans. She's drawing in people who have never watched a women's game in their lives.
The most dominant team in the league. They can't draw 500,000 viewers for a playoff game. Atlanta Dreamers and the New York Liberals. Again, the Liberals. They supposedly have stars. Remember when ESPN claimed that the Liberals had the new Big Three? Dreamers, Liberals. 410,000 viewers. The other game was the Phoenix Masculines and the Minnesota Lakers.
She's making the WNBA relevant in a way it hasn't been before. But here's where it gets tricky. Clark has become so big, so fast, that the entire league seems to be resting on her shoulders. This brings us to the million-dollar question. Is this a good thing for the WNBA? You know how they say not to put all your eggs in one basket? Well, the WNBA just learned that lesson the hard way. With Clark out of the playoffs, the league is facing a reality check that has everyone asking if they just fumbled their golden ticket. And believe me, this issue goes far beyond just losing a star player.
They should be getting the attention. Now they have center stage, but the ratings are going to go down. How far, though? That's the key.
Let's talk numbers for a moment. Remember those packed arenas during Clark's games? That's not happening anymore. We're now seeing playoff games that can't even fill half the seats.
In 2024, the WNBA is estimated to bring in $200 million in revenue. Just for comparison, the NBA is expected to earn $13 billion. The WNBA has historically lost around $10 million per season.
Can you imagine walking into an arena that should be buzzing with playoff energy, only to find it feels like a ghost town? That's the WNBA's new reality. And here's where it gets really troubling. The league isn't just losing fans in the stands, they're also hemorrhaging money.
Kelsey Mitchell on here instead of Caitlyn Clark? The face of your entire league, you left off this promotional graphic. Again, Kelsey Mitchell.
And I'm not talking about pocket change here. The NBA pours $200 million into the WNBA each year just to keep it afloat. Meanwhile, the NBA is raking in over $7 billion from TV deals alone. That's not just a gap. That's a Grand Canyon-sized chasm.
But the ratings are going to go down. How far, though? That's the key. And are they going to be pointing fingers and blaming Indiana Fever fans and Caitlyn Clark fans whenever the ratings don't stay the same?
Now, you might be thinking, okay, but surely they have a plan to fix this, right? Well, hold on to your hats, because this is where things get wild. The WNBA's marketing strategy, or lack of one, is leaving everyone scratching their heads. Believe it or not, they haven't even made a single commercial featuring Caitlyn Clark.
The attendance numbers in New York and Las Vegas last night, they were the same as Sunday night. There has yet to be a sellout in the WNBA playoffs. They couldn't even sell out the 9,000-seat Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut for the playoff debut of Katie Rue. It was the closest they came to a sellout, but it still wasn't sold out.
Not one. It's as if they have a golden goose, but decided to keep it locked away. And it's not just about Clark. The entire league's approach to promoting its stars is under scrutiny. One analyst even said that without Caitlyn Clark, the WNBA is nothing but a polished turd. Ouch. That's not just harsh, it's a wake-up call. The league has been riding high on Clark's stardom, but forgot to build a safety net. So, what does this mean for the future of women's basketball? We're not just talking about a bad season. This could be a turning point for the entire league. Without Clark in the playoffs, the WNBA is losing viewers faster than a leaky faucet. And in today's world, where attention is currency, that's a death sentence.
She just knows that there were people on the ground pounding the pavement that were doing so much for women's basketball everywhere that deserved their praise.
But here's the kicker. It didn't have to be this way. The WNBA had a golden opportunity with Clark. They could have leveraged her star power to elevate other players and create engaging storylines that keep fans invested even when she's not on the court. Instead, they put all their chips on one player, and now they're paying the price.
Like, she's coming in, and from a marketing standpoint, yes, have eyes on her, but don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because at the end of the day, we can't predict the future.
Now you might be thinking, great, the WNBA is in trouble. So, what's next? Well, get ready because the solutions might surprise you. We're not just talking about a quick fix. We're talking about a complete overhaul that could change the game forever. First up, let's discuss marketing. The WNBA has been riding the Caitlyn Clark wave, but it's time to spread the love.
This is why the league has to expand their vision, because you're going to get a lot of new fans that's coming.
Imagine a league where every player has their own storyline and their own fan base. We're talking about creating rivalries that get people talking, even when the big names aren't on the court. It's about making every game feel like a must-watch event. Now, let's talk about the players. The WNBA can't just sit around waiting for the next Caitlyn Clark to come along.
But if you're not delivering the product and you're not making the revenue and you're not, giving people the entertainment that they want, then you're not going to make any money and your league is going to suck.
The league has to be ready with its infrastructure. The league has to be ready with its tech. The league has to be ready with its vision. Think bigger.
Yes.
I'm saying think bigger, Tarika, because something.
They need to actively scout talent, develop skills, and cultivate the next generation of superstars. Imagine a league where every team has a player who makes you say, wow, I can't believe what I just saw.
Okay, I want to see some cattiness. Okay, I need entertainment. I'd literally rather watch.
But here's the kicker. None of this matters if the WNBA can't keep fans engaged. They need to create storylines that extend beyond a single game or season. We're talking about building team identities, fostering heated rivalries, and giving fans something to cheer for, even when their favorite player has an off night. And let's not forget about the money. The WNBA needs to get serious about diversifying its revenue streams. They can't just rely on ticket sales and TV deals.
Caitlyn, I just say put more marketing dollars and push behind some of the great players in the WNBA so that you can sustain this, and all of the focus, if you're saying Caitlyn, and as Caitlyn game is not where you thought it was going to be, you still have all these great players that you can push more. That's what I say.
What about merchandise? What about partnerships with other brands? There's a whole world of opportunities out there, and the WNBA needs to start exploring them. All right, let's wrap this up. We've seen how the WNBA put all its chips on Caitlyn Clark, and now they're paying the price. Empty seats, plummeting viewership, and a league struggling to stay afloat. But it's not game over yet. The WNBA needs to shake things up.